So, I wasn't on the Raw review this week from the Off the Rope show, but guess what? I'm doing my own. This is the first for me, so you might have to bear with me a minute. But Raw kicked off for May 28th, 2012 from New Orleans with the Big Show come down to the ring to cut a promo. Oh my God. God, that's about put me to sleep. I would have thought it was God himself doing a promo because this lasted so long. God, there's about 10 to 12 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back because this is just so boring. Ugh, God almighty. Basically, he's just talking about how he has an ironclad contract and I can basically do what the hell I want. And that's about all I can think of for this segment. It just went way too long. Next. Well, next one, it was a good way to squash your United States champion because this is one of those matches, if you blink, you missed it, between ADR and Santino. Match lasted about a minute, and Santino jobs clean with the cross arm breaker, and then Ricardo gets into his face after the match, while Alberto's doing a little $1 Million Man touch by stuffing the Cobra down the gullet of Santino, and it's just wow. That's about all to this match. Nice way to squash your U.S. champion, by the way. Well, and then you had a backstage segment with Eve and A-Rai, Alex Riley, yes. And then Big Show comes in and he talks to Riley about how he wanted. He's looking for a opponent for tonight, and says, "Well, you're not gonna be my opponent tonight, but I do gotta send a message." So he sends A-Rai into the wall. It's like, okay. And like I said, Big Show is gonna get to pick his opponent later on tonight. Thanks to Big Johnny, that dynamic dude, John Laurinaitis. So, pretty short segment. The next gen unannounced WWE Tag Title match between Kofi and R-Truth, the Jimmy Booms, if you will, against the Jackoffs of Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. Well, this is actually a decent match itself, are they finally going to break up the team of Ziggler and Swagger? Finally now, because they looked like they teased Ascension after the match after Kofi and R-Truth won. Kind of a rematch from Over the Limit, and this was one of the biggest things that came out of this match because during this match, Alex Riley was the #1 trend worldwide on Twitter. Woo! Then next you saw Santino go in the back and Big Show gets into his face and talking about how you guys had fun last night at my expense after I got fired. Which brings in Brodus Clay, and he basically this is gonna, as I will talk about in the next segment, basically it's gonna set up a match between these two. And Brodus says, "I'll give you something to cry about." So next, then next you got Big Johnny and my boy David Otunga and Levon looking as only she can in that hot little secondary get up. Ooh, but. Basically makes a couple of announcements. Big Show will, as I was saying earlier, Big Show will take on Brodus Clay later on in the night. And then also, the match between Big Show and John Cena at No Way Out is going to be a steel cage match. And they unveil the cover of the WWE 13 game with Big Johnny on the cover. Woo! Which then brings out c.m.punk, and he basically talk shit for a little bit, and then they unveiled the real cover of WWE 13 with Punk on the cover. Gee, you think you would have seen this last year? I don't think so. Actually, I would rather see Big Johnny on the cover of the WWE 13 magazine. Let me know what you think down below there, and And this was an alright segment itself, I think. So, and then you get the 1 hour main event: c.m. Punk against Daniel Bryan. Stop me if you haven't seen this before. Well, actually, this is probably one of the best things on Raw this week, and there wasn't many. But about midway towards the match, AJ comes down the ring, that crazy chick. Ooh. There's sometimes I do dig crazy chicks, and AJ would be one of them. Oh my lord. Anyway, Bryan ends up winning after he removes the turnbuckle pad and sends Punk into it, and but then King comes out and starts attacking Bryan with a chair, and then AJ sends a chair into Punk, and then Punk starts beating on Kane. So triple threat match maybe at No Way Out. Just saying here. I think it's looking that way. And then next you had a short and sweet match between your IC champion Christian against The Miz. Christian wins clean. Ugh. I don't know what The Miz did to piss somebody off in the back, in the upper management, but holy hell, he's still doing more jobs than a temp, I tell ya. And then you had Cody Rhodes doing commentary, and yeah, Christian wins clean, and that's about all you had to know about this match. Well, Teddy Long is still being Johnny Ace's bitch because this time he's dressed up in a maid outfit, getting Eve some coffee, and she spits it out because it's cold. It's iced coffee. Then you get back from a commercial. Miz is still in the ring, whining about losing to Christian, and he must really be in the doghouse, because then Randy Orton comes out there, and Lord knows he needs something to do now, because supposedly his opponent was going to be Chris Jericho at No Way Out, but that's not happening now after what happened in Brazil last week. But he basically gives them the RKO out of nowhere, and that's about the end of that segment. And then next you had a match that was made earlier between the Great White Sheamus and David Otunga. I think Otunga got into some of Randall Keith's baby oil. I mean, yeah, he doesn't use it as much as Orton does, but he used quite a bit of it. But yeah, this is a pretty short and sweet match. Sheamus won with the Brogue Kick, and I can see Otunga going down pretty quick to Sheamus, but at the same time I don't like it because Otunga's my guy right now. I'm sorry. And then you get to the main event. Well, this really wasn't much of a main event. In fact, it was more of a downright mugging than anything else. Big Show against Brodus Clay. I'll tell you what, Big Show is in rare form this week. I tell you what. Brodus Clay gets speared, and then he basically gets walloped with a part of a table, and Kofi and R-Truth come down to save him. And it's like, oh my god, this is organized chaos at its very finest. Wow, this three people get laid out, and Kofi ends up going through the barricade. I don't mean over the barricade. I mean like right through it. You saw the show, but it's just like, man, this was unbelievable. Okay, well, final thoughts on the show. I think they got the main event and the 1 hour main event switched. I thought that Big Show mugging segment at the end of the show, that should have been the 1 hour main event, I thought. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan should have been the main event, I thought. But otherwise, I mean, this show was better than last week, but that's not saying much. I mean, you had Punk, who's going to be on the cover of WWE 13 game. I'm actually surprised it's not Cena, but that's okay. I'm okay with that also. But anyway, let me know what you thought down below. And this is Marvelous Mark signing off for now. Goodbye.